everyone, welcome to episode 18 of PixlFeed Radio, and I'm with my friend Andrew Nazarian here today. What's going on, Andrew?
Oh, nothing, just chilling, living the dream.
Chilling like a villain?
It's me trying.
So my friend Andrew here, we've been working on a few projects together, and he's a co-founder of the Speare Group and Sparkbuilder, which is a piece of software that agencies use and entrepreneurs use. So we're going to talk about that. But before we get started on that, I'm going to ask the question that I ask everyone who comes in here. How did you become an entrepreneur? Like when you were a kid, what happened that brought you from then till here that you can think of? Like, what's your story? What's the whole story from then till now?
That's funny that you asked that, because I literally got this question kind of thrown in my face the other day. I thought that my entrepreneurial journey started somewhat recently, like the last few years, but like in our Sparkbuilder group, somebody asked the question, like, you know, what was your first entrepreneurial venture? And I was starting to read through the comments, and then I realized, like, what? I was buying Costco at candy and reselling it at 100% markup. And like, you know, like, and even before that, I was doing lemonade stands and stuff like that. So, I mean, I've always kind of been an entrepreneur. It's totally in my blood. My grandfather started Gorilla Auto Parts and sold that business. You might still catch that sticker on the like inside of door panels for certain American car models. He also started like this artistic brass fixture company, apparently the first at the time to make like really cool looking brass fixtures for sinks and stuff. And my uncle is an online entrepreneur as well. He owns the first like online big rig truck parts company. So that's cool. So I guess it's just been in my blood. But the real answer to this question is after I graduated college with a marketing degree and went from like one agency to the next, and like this marketing job and this marketing job.
Wait! I didn't know that you actually worked at agencies.
Yeah, man.
Marketing degree. I did not know that, and we've been working together on a few projects. I want to hear. I got to hear the details about this. So okay, so you got your marketing degree.
Yeah, I feel like actually like there is a lot more significant like digital marketers out there who like started with like an online course as opposed to like the full like degree version, because
that's me.
What are you guys are? Yeah, and honestly, I mean, I would have been way better off. The reality is I would have been way better off if I started with a course and just continued my own personal learning, because the foundation is definitely there, but like as you and me both know, like the industry changes so fast that like the stuff we learned in college the stuff I learned in college doesn't really apply anymore. You know?
I mean, I'm sure you have the basics. I mean, yeah, I dropped out from college, but I'm sure you have like the basics of, you know, marketing foundations and messaging and a lot of stuff. But I've actually seen projects where like they put people like us against marketing degrees, like young kids now, and they can't keep up just because they don't concentrate on, you know, they don't know the ins and outs of all the like the platforms and all that stuff. But that's the key thing, man. I read a lot of books. I mean, I joke around all the time, like all the books on my bookshelves, I've read every single one of them. Mm-hmm. Some of them even twice, 3 times, just because, you know, I don't know if it's my ADD or my short attention span from being on Facebook and all this crap all day long that I need to go back to them and refresh my memory on some things. But that's the trick. Keep learning.
What's your opinion on listening as opposed to like physically reading?
I do both. I actually, believe it or not, what I personally do is I read the book first, the actual book, and I don't buy digital books. All my books are real books. It's my wife jokes with me about it. I just like the smell of them. I like looking at them. It's like an accomplishment for me. But every time I buy a book, I get the audio version as well if it's available. And then after I'm done reading the book, I'll listen to it, whether if I'm out, you know, working out or in the car or whatever, and I'll go through it on the audio as well. Mm-hmm. But I also find myself like I forgot to turn this off. I forgot that what do you call it? That when I'm reading a book, sometimes, and I'm sure this happens to other people, especially now with our short attention spans, you're reading, and then at one point you're like, I didn't get any of that. Like none of that registered. And so with audio, I catch myself doing that as well sometimes. but with audio still goes in your brand, if that makes any sense, because it'll come back to you at some point. I mean, that's my opinion on it. It works for me, but that's what I would recommend.
Yeah, it's also I totally understand what you're saying. Like sometimes I'm at the bottom of the page and I was like, wait, what did I just absorb? On this entire. But with audio, at least you can just click, and then you reverse. So that's easy. So anyway, basically, I went from marketing job to marketing job, and then I just hated my life. Right? There was, my bosses in the marketing agencies weren't even like up to date on like current best practices. So I was like, no, this isn't really what you do anymore. And they were like, listen, we've been doing this for blah, 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 whatever. And I'm just like, look at the metrics. Like your engagement is terrible. Like you're filling BS content just for a paycheck. Like this isn't helping anybody. Like this isn't actually producing growth. And so I left that company and then went from there and here and there. And I literally every single corporate experience was just terrible. And I just finally, out of like absolute desperation, I was like, you know what, I'm going to do this all for myself. And that's when, we started Speare Group. And I remember at the beginning, I was like, there's no way we can start a marketing agency. We don't have references. We don't we don't do this. And it was just completely out of fear. And then, 3 years later, now we're, scaling businesses. It's been a crazy ride.
It's amazing what you can come up with when you're driven and you're like, I need money. I got to figure this out. I have no choice.
Yeah.
And stop relying on other stuff. So let's talk about the software, man. I mean, I obviously play with it. I've seen it. And I think you're onto something that's going to be big. So how did that whole start, the whole idea and building it and, to where it's at now?
Basically it's such a, I guess it was 2018, 2019 at the time. It's such a 2018 story. Like I was on just a Facebook ads Facebook group, right? And we were just, talking about like different campaigns that we were working on. And I started a conversation with I guess I would call him the founder of Sparkbuilder, Chris, just because he is head of the development side, right? This was generated out of his idea. And he was talking about something and he's like, I've been seeing this trend of, instant websites and I think I can do it better, but I don't really know if it's something I should really, put time and energy into, because he was also working on like this and that, plus he had his own agency. And I was like, Chris, this is freaking incredible, man. Like we have to work on this right now. I was like, I am so willing to put, any amount of time into helping you with this. And basically I think that he was going to do it regardless without me. But basically I think that he just really enjoyed the energy and the creative kind of problem solving and, campaigns that I could come up with. And then we just started together. I then partnered with my now partner, Maor, on Speare Group. So now it's all, 3 of us at the time when it started about, a year, 2 years ago now. So we basically just started off of this trend of being able to make web design incredibly easy. So did that even answer the question? I think I totally got ADD.
You're good. I'll keep you on track. So, all right. So let's talk about, that's how you came up with the idea and all that stuff, started working on it, but you haven't really gone into the explanation of what it actually does. So let's tell everybody what Sparkbuilder is. And obviously the links are going to be in the description, but let's go into the details of what the software actually does.
Cool. Okay. So when we started on just an instant website builder. It works through dynamic inputs, which means that you come on, you pick the template, and then you enter the business's information, including, contact information, location, social links, so on and so forth. And then it instantly generates the website. So now you have an absolute custom website because of the dynamic inputs built in minutes, which is really awesome. And then it's built on top of this drag and drop builder.
Huh? You can literally do a website in 5 minutes. I mean, I did it.
in 5 minutes that won't flag a Google duplication error if you do multiple of them, fully SEO optimizable. They're great sites.
All right. And so what a lot of people are doing with the software is, you have the Facebook group, which is made out of entrepreneurs, and they're actually using it to sell services to clients, to build their websites, and to offer. What type of services are people offering with the software, and what have you seen that they're using it for mostly?
So a lot of our templates are service-based niches. So a lot of them are upselling just both Facebook ads and Google PPC, AdWords. Just to go back just a second, we started with these instant sites, but then we realized that we're pretty dang good at building these tools that help entrepreneurs and agency owners. So Sparkbuilder now isn't just about the instant sites, it's about our full agency dashboard. So we started with the instant sites and then build a whole other set of tools around it included in our agency CRM, which is totally free to use, which is really cool. So
what are those tools for people that don't know?
Okay, so agency CRM, instant website builder, but we also have the instant funnel builder, as well as full email drip campaigns and stuff like that. Besides that, we have an instant proposal tool coming up in the next week or so, and a full business audit tool as well. So they're all these tools that work in tandem. So for instance, people use the Sparkbuilder dashboard to keep all their sales in line. They either reach out to somebody with a small foot in the door offer, I will give you an instant website for a very low cost because I know your business needs it, or using it as more of an irresistible offer. So they're already, talking about running a media buying campaign for one of these prospects. And then they say, look, if you sign the contract today, I will include a website and I will, heavily discount it.
Well, that's pretty awesome. So yeah, I've been actually thinking about the whole SaaS thing for a while now, because if you get somewhere in your ecosystem, on your platform, the average person stays for at least 3 months. I don't know what the case is for you guys, but I know the average person stays as an user for 3 months unless you have some type of contract or something like that. If you're a huge, SaaS company like Salesforce or something like that. And nowadays, it's getting easier and easier to build software, right? Especially with the no-code movement, where you have applications like Adalo and stuff like that, where you can literally build an app in less than 5 minutes. I even made a video out of it. So what do you think it's good with all these platforms that are coming out? What are you guys doing to market it different than all the other platforms out there? Is there even a platform out there that does all of it like yours does? I don't think so, that I know of.
There's certainly similar platforms for sure, but none of them have the proprietary tools that we've implemented into our agency dashboard, and we're always developing new ones. I mean, that's the goal. And for us, what we're doing is, basically we're trying to start with as low of a budget as humanly possible. So we're focusing on just organic partnerships and stuff like that. So we have relationships with a bunch of different course owners, mentorship owners, for lack of a better term. And basically we're just handing it over to them and be like, look, this can help your students for absolutely free. Give it a shot. So basically we're starting our marketing with just organic relationship building.
So you guys haven't ran any campaigns whatsoever to get users?
Nope.
Yet. So how many users are on the platform already?
So we have maybe 500 plus users on the platform. People who are actively selling sites is more like 100. We launched the dashboard about 3 months ago now. So, we started this thing right in the middle of the pandemic when, people weren't really buying stuff, and now they are super focused on, getting their presence online. So we saw a complete drop off, and now we're just seeing a steady increase.
Oh, dude, my agency here in consultation, the first, I want to say 3 days when it happened, or the first week, everybody freaked out and everything stopped, right? Even though I have contracts with people and stuff like that, I'm like, I get it. I'm not going to hold you to a contract, just see what happens. But, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, like people are not going to be able to buy stuff online because everybody's losing their jobs. And then literally not even a week has gone by and sales for online stuff just starts going through the roof. And my business just like quadrupled in a matter of 2 weeks, which, knock on wood, I am not complaining about whatsoever, but what goes up must come down at some point. But I think what happened was people realized how far behind in times they were. A lot of local businesses and stuff like that need this kind of stuff. And it's like, wow, it was like a rude awakening of like, we have no online presence. Like if we can't open our doors, we're screwed. So I'm sure that's helping you guys to grow the platform as well. That's what gave it that little kick to get it out there, right?
Definitely. And I've never understood that mindset.
Me neither.
I've never understood why people are so stuck in their ways thinking that it's not important to get online. I mean, maybe it's different for me because I went through college and was studying literally how Blockbuster completely failed because they never adapted. Like I was studying these businesses that completely failed because they weren't interested. They had this "if it ain't broke, don't fix it" mindset, and that completely crushes businesses.
That's the boomer mentality, dude. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I've sat in a boardroom where I'm brought in. It's not even me prospecting. They literally find me because somebody in the marketing department is like, we got to bring Christian here. Like this guy knows his shit, blah, blah, blah. And I'll go in there. It's all like, I'm not going in there to convince you. Like once I'm in that call with you or that meeting, I'm not going to try to convince you. That's not, I'm not, I got plenty of people that I want to work with me. I don't have to. Right. And what happens is the younger generation, are trying to convince these top guys. It's like, this is what we need to do. But for some reason, there's an apprehension. It's like against technology. Yeah. I don't know what it is. It's like one day they just woke up. It's like, fuck phones. I don't care about phones. I don't give a shit about the internet. Move on with my life. You know what I mean? Like
it doesn't make any sense. And like when I experienced that in a marketing agency setting, I was like, what is going on here? Like, are you real right now? It's like the people who still think TikTok's not going to be a thing. Like,
oh, right. Yeah, they find TikTok sucks. I'm like, all of you are going to be on it.
It's just
a matter of time.
I love that phrase too. Like, it's just fine.
Well, and even I have to talk with them. Like, listen, Sir X, whatever. I don't know. I can't come up with a funny name right now, but. Okay, so you're sending flyers and mailers. You do radio, you do TV, which is insanely expensive, right? Well, TV, I guess you could track 6 months later based on sales or whatever, and you can send a survey to figure it out. But you're sending print out there. There's no way to track it besides like, oh, we got more calls this week, but not everybody's going to tell you they came because of the print ad. You know what I mean? Even though you ask them. And I go, well, how are you tracking it? Well, we get the sales and then we kind of put 2 and 2 together. I'm like, have you even assigned a digital phone number to the print just to know what's coming from there? Oh, we didn't even know you could do that. This is what I'm talking about.
I sold print advertising in college.
And then you tell them, it's like, listen, on Facebook, I specialize on Facebook, so I don't talk about Google much, but I bring it up too. But on Facebook, I can literally run an ad that will be in front of your perfect customer's face all day long, and I can track every single click, every second watch, how old they are, where they're located, all their interests and stuff like, and they're still, Facebook is not for us. What? Dude, you sell soda. It's like you're not selling I don't know, like something that wouldn't work on Facebook. Almost everything works on Facebook, but there is things that don't work on Facebook. But if you're selling a direct to consumer product, a consumable, and I'm using soda as an example because it was a beverage with this example that I'm talking about. I'm like, this is where your customers are. And for some reason, you're fighting this all technology, not just Facebook, all of it. It's only a matter of time before your competitors just like crush you because the younger generations keep coming up. And, we get it. They get it, For God's sakes, Gen Z was born with a phone in their hand, So I don't know. What do you think it's the whole software market's going to go now that all these, it's easier, back in the day to develop a software like yours would have cost millions, right? Not anymore. So now that we have all these opportunities, like, are you worried about competition, or are you worried about, I never worry about saturation because I can always steal the traffic. That's my line. But are you worried there's going to be a lot of shitty tools out there, and it's going to give a bad name for some of them? What do you think people should do to come up with a good idea and to expand on that idea and be better than everyone else, I guess? Because your software is awesome, so you're doing something right?
I mean, the very first thing is just find your team, right? Like, for instance, like, we would never be able to accomplish the stuff that we accomplished without Chris. Like, Chris's mind is like 1000% our greatest asset. So, I mean, the first thing I can say to that is, like, make sure you really, really find the right team. Because you'll be able to find developers everywhere, but like there's only so many developers out there who also have that creative mindset that allows you to like push past borders. And in regards to where I see like the software market going, I think it would be very uneducated to try and even make assumptions, because like think about the technology that's changed from 2015 till now. I mean, like Moore's law talks about how a transistor can, reduce its size by 50% every 6 months. A transistor gets half the size every 6 or 8 months.
Dude,
I'm not sure.
I was looking at hard drives the other day. I need a new SSD.
Yeah,
and it was like literally this big.
My dad got a 1 terabyte flash drive.
Yes. I was like, holy shit, how did this happen?
That's insane. So I definitely see this movement towards just ease of use. Like, technology doesn't necessarily have to be for that 1% who really understand, coding languages and stuff like that. So it's definitely going to move towards just ultimate simplification. Past that, no idea. Holograms, space. I don't know.
That's cool, man.
Yeah.
All right. And what about what are you guys doing to grow on the agency side of things? I know you're very selective with the people that you work with. What are you guys doing on that side of things to keep growing and servicing your clients? What are you seeing on your end with most clients with the changes with COVID and all that stuff? What do you think? Are they more receptive to changes? Or trying new things, or are they still in that same mindset of like, I don't want to try new things. Let's just spend this much and that's it.
Oh, well, the thing is, the times have changed, because it's just like me when I started my, agency. Like, they're like, oh my God, my business is failing. There's no other option. Before, when they were just, sliding along, they were like comfortable with where they were at. It was a lot more difficult than now. People are directly reaching out saying, like, for the past 9 millennia, we've been word of mouth, but now we know we need to be online. It's just like,
that's my favorite. And they're so proud of it too. They're so proud of it too. It's like, that's my favorite line, because they're so proud of it too. They're like, oh, we grow on referrals. We're the best. You have no idea how many referrals we have. We don't need marketing. So it's like, okay, that's great. I mean, you want to have referrals because that means you're doing a good job, but dude, pour fuel on the fire and take it to the next level by adding marketing to it. And that's people don't get that.
Look, there is 100,000 much more intelligent entrepreneurs than me, but I know that referrals don't scale a business. There's no way that you can scale a business on unpredictable leads, and I just don't understand how that concept isn't widely available to people.
And information is like so easily accessible out there too. Shit, just watch my channel. Like, I talk about all this stuff on here all the time. Anyway, all right, Andrew, we're running out of time, man. I know you're busy. We got to get to work and do some other things, but I really appreciate you coming on, man. Best of luck with everything, and obviously I love the software. And where can people find you? Tell them. I'll put the links in the description.
Definitely Facebook. I would just direct people to go to the Sparkbuilder group if they're interested in checking out the software. If they want to go directly to the dashboard, app.sparkbuilder.net. If you want to find out more information before just logging into the dashboard, check out sparkbuilder.net.
Awesome. All right, Andrew. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it.